He should have honestly never responded to that video. Do you think that Beyonce responds to every person who has a problem with their concert? No, because she's Beyonce. Is this new rising star's career already over? Hey guys, I'm Tattoo and Tati's Media, where I get to inform you while offering my perspective on different things in the media. And in today's video, we're talking about Sombr and basically his cancellation already on TikTok that's happening right now. I want to preface this video by saying that I am not here to attack Sombr. He's always made music, of course, but he's a pretty frequent and new rising, pop star. But that doesn't mean he can't face a little bit of criticism. And that's what today's video basically is. We're going to talk about both parties, and I'm not here to hate on both parties. And I'm interested in talking about this with all of you guys today. So let's see what we're in for. So Sombr is a rising star known for his music and his overall edgy persona and humor, possibly. He has made a lot of viral songs in the coming months, especially they've been trending on TikTok too, so he's been getting quite big. Recently he's been hosting concerts. A recent creator came out making a video on why she didn't really like the concert, it wasn't what she was expecting, and how she's warning other people who want to go. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hi guys, good morning, welcome back. This is gonna be a little different than my typical content, but I had one of the worst experiences of my life this weekend, and it feels like a disservice to the public to not share it, so here we go. I went to go see Sombr Sunday night at the Anthem in DC. If you don't know who Sombr is, he's a 20-year-old artist. He blew up online, I think on TikTok. He has a lot of hits. I like a lot of his music. A lot of people my age like a lot of his music, whatever. I was really excited to go see him. I don't really go to concerts that often unless I really love an artist. I was so excited to see this performance. By far, genuinely the worst concert I've ever been to in my life for a multitude of reasons. But I'm going to explain to you why, if you're over the age of 16, you should not spend your money on a Sombr concert. Let me walk you through my evening. We get in line. It's pouring down rain. The line's like a mile and a half long. That's all cool. Sold out show. Mother Nature. I don't care. We're waiting in line, and there's a group in front of us of like 4 teenage girls and their dad. And I wasn't scanning the entire line. I was trying not to get rained on, but I was just like, that's really sweet. They must be big Sombr fans, so that their dad brought them to the show. That was red flag number one. I'd say a pink flag, right? That was just whatever. First big red flag, we get to the door, the guy checks my ID. I'm 25 years old, mind you, so is my boyfriend. The guy looks at my ID, starts quizzing me like it's a fake. He's like, what's your zip code? Looking me up and down. I genuinely was like, what? I say back to him like, oh my gosh, I'm actually so flattered. Like, thank you. He chuckles a little bit, and at that point gives me a wristband. And I was like, thanks. What? Like, I feel like I look like I'm in my mid-20s, and my boyfriend sure as hell does. My boyfriend behind me gets quizzed the same way. Like, what's your zip code? Where were you? Crazy. I get inside and immediately I clock why I got checked on my ID. It is the closest to a middle school dance I've ever been since I was in middle school at a dance. The only adult in the room are the parents and then my boyfriend and I. It was thousands upon thousands of tweens running around like they were at a middle school dance. Immediately I'm pissed off. And these kids are plowing through, like, mind you, they've never been in a bar before. They don't know how to contain personal space. If they were adults, fights would have happened, fists would have been thrown, but they were just plowing through, checking shoulders, spilling drinks. Like, it was genuinely a nightmare. I'm like, you know what? Let's just get a beer. Let's just hang out until the show starts. I'm still gonna enjoy the music, right? I still really love his songs. Cool. We go get a beer. In that hour and a half we're waiting for the show to start, we're probably in the background of 5,000 Instagram pictures. That's not an exaggeration. I mean, every single angle around us at any given time, it's Canon G7Xs and iPhones, and it's just like, oh my God, it was an Instagram fest in there. But alas, the lights dim. The opener comes on stage. We go, yay, we get to enjoy some music. The opener for Sombr, bless her heart. I know it's really hard to sing to a room full of people that do not know any of your songs. She sucked. She was so bad. I was like, this is what it must have felt like for my parents when I was watching like Disney Channel in like 2007 and I thought it was like peak music and they're just suffering through it. It was genuinely painful. The music was so bad. She was a terrible performer. She kind of looked like when you're pretending to sing in your bedroom in the mirror. She was doing like that, but on stage. Example, the corners of the stage, she would just walk back and forth. That's cool, that's fine. Every time she would get to the corner of a stage, she would pretend like someone was waving at her in the crowd just to do this. Every single time. I'm not even exaggerating. I think she might have wanted a photo op from it. I don't know. But we were like, take a shot every time she waves at an imaginary person in the crowd. Then she would sing her songs, which are like a slow song, no choreography, just standing there, not out of breath at all. Then the second the song ends and she would talk to the crowd, she would do that fake like, wow, how's everyone doing tonight? And it was like, you're not out of breath at all. You're just trying to sound like a superstar. Whatever, still not Sombr. I'll wait for my guy, right? Cut to main performer. Sombr gets on stage. I'm excited, I'm thrilled. I'm like, ooh, finally, I'm gonna enjoy myself, right? First 2 minutes he's on stage, he makes a 6-7 joke. I'm not even kidding you. And all the tweens, I've never had such immediate buyer's remorse in my life. Like, I knew I was just in for 3 hours of nightmare fuel. Again, hopefully little me was like, you know what, this sucks, but at least I'll hear my favorite music live, right? Like, this is gonna be so fun. I left early. I didn't even hear my favorite music. He proceeds to make a bunch of niche meme references for like the 12 to 16-year-old age range group. And I only understand them because I'm chronically online, but every other adult in the room, including my boyfriend, is like, why is he speaking in tongue? Like, what is he saying right now? Just ridiculous to hear out loud. It was like brain rot on stage. And it was like, this is really killing the vibe a little bit. Just play the fucking song. Yeah, he did the exact opposite of that. About 30 minutes in, he cuts all the music and he's like, we're now gonna have the Sombr dating show. Raise your hand and come on up on stage if you want to call your toxic ex. Make sure it's toxic and make sure there's somebody who's gonna pick up. Again, all the tweens. We then proceeded to watch 3 tweens go on stage and call their ex. And then Sombr's on the mic like, clock it, bro. Oh, chill out, bro. Bro. I've never had such secondhand embarrassment for someone and felt such a deep cringe. Like, you know, if you see like something cringe online, you can just like exit out or something, right? I'm sitting there, I was like, wow, I paid money to see this. Like, I paid money to suffer through that. It just got worse. It just kept getting worse the more it went on. He would make like super niche references to like 13-year-olds, but then he would also say like super vulgar stuff about like getting his dick sucked. And it was like, so you know your audience is clearly 13, yet here you are. Okay. There was a moment in between songs where he literally just randomly went, bark for me. And you hear the arena of 13, 14, 15-year-old girls start barking. And then immediately followed up with, yeah, daddy. All of that. And he wasn't even a good performer. Genuinely, it sounded bad. Like he said he had bronchitis. It seemed like that wasn't the only issue going on there. It just doesn't seem like he knows how to entertain. He's maybe too young. Maybe he has to grow into it. I don't know. Dancing was terrible. Singing was terrible. He would let the backtrack play over the most important notes. And it was like, okay. He had this weird moment where he like had a temper tantrum on this clothing rack. Like there was just a clothing rack and he starts throwing stuff around. And again, you know, like the 12, 13-year-olds are like, ah. Any logical, like level-headed person in the audience is like, what are you doing? Like, just sing the song, bro. And I had to leave. I had to leave because it was the most egotistical performance I've ever seen in my life. If I had known he was like that, I would never have paid money to see him. It was so embarrassing to witness. Like, he's up there just being like, I'm the shit, and also I'm the shit. And you're like, okay, all right, well. It seemed like he thought he was like role model vibes, you know? But he was so far off. Like, it was like, you're trying to convince me that you're like this like crazy cool sex symbol and you're just turning off the whole room. Clearly not the whole room because there were children who liked him. I mean, I literally left. Like, I couldn't stand it anymore, genuinely. I didn't even hear my favorite song. Sunk cost theory kicked in and I was like, I've wasted enough time, money, energy out of my life. I just want to go home. This sucks. My boyfriend and I both left. Like, that was the worst experience of my life. The other 2 girls I knew who were there were messaging me afterwards and they were like, was that not like weird? Like, that wasn't a good. And I was like, hated it. Absolutely couldn't agree more. I hated it. It was terrible. And then I get on TikTok and I'm seeing all these kids posting these videos. Oh my God, this must be how my mom felt. This is my generation's David Bowie. I saw a TikTok from the Anthem DC, the show I was at, where a girl's like recording it and it's like, the kids are gonna be all right. No! No, cut that. Absolutely. Never in my life have I felt so much rage. Not even during it. Like, I felt rage during it, but seeing the aftermath on TikTok and seeing it be like, he's the hottest. You guys need better role models. You guys need better sex symbols. I'm so sorry. Slender Man, we're picking him. We're picking the weird dancing dude. I will insert the clip. He dances like Napoleon Dynamite. And in the middle of the concert, my boyfriend held up a picture of Napoleon Dynamite. I couldn't stop seeing it. I couldn't stop laughing. Cringe kid. Really cringe kid. Kid. That's the biggest kid. Like, he's 20, but he acts like he's probably 15 and a half. And it reflects in his performances. It was a nightmare. If you are an adult of any age and you enjoy Sombr's music, stick to Spotify. I would not recommend going to his shows. You will not enjoy yourself. It is not the experience you think it is going to be. That's all. Literally, I just feel so bad. I wasted my money, my friends wasted their money, and I don't want anyone else to be like, oh, Sombr's coming to my city, I'm gonna see them. It's not the vibes you think it's gonna be. It's just not. Okay. Take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.
So basically, she was saying that the concert had inappropriate jokes. She didn't know it would be filled with such younger audience. Also, that she didn't like his humor either. She called him cringe and basically accused him of being a bad influence. And guess what? Sombr had things to say back. So let's see what he had to say in response to her.
I thought I was chronically online, but it's just come to my attention that there's a TikTok drama going around because a 25-year-old attended my concert and was basically complaining that there were too many tweens there, I was making too many brain rot jokes, and she just thought it was a cringe concert. And also she was body shaming me, and it's kind of started a massive body shaming hate train directed towards me on a lot of videos of me on the internet right now, which is, I totally respect people having opinions, but I am a 20-year-old artist, freshly 20. And if you're 25 years old and you're going to come to my concert and not expect people younger than you to be there when I, the artist, am 5 years younger than you, it's just a skill issue. I mean, also, like, the jokes thing, like, you had to have known about my online presence before coming to my concert. I mean, anyone who knows me knows I've never uttered a serious word in my life. And also, I make jokes for 5 minutes of the concert and the rest is music. Like, live a little, enjoy life. Every age, sex, sexuality, gender, race, everyone is welcome at my concert, and I mean everyone. You guys need to find problematic people to hate on because I am just existing. Also, I'm just going to give a quick tutorial. Also, I just remembered that I had a fever and bronchitis at the show she went to, but the show goes on. I will not cancel unless I'm on my deathbed.
After Sombr responded to her, she also made a response back to his response.
Hi guys, welcome back. Well, I would love to be relaxing, enjoying my Sunday evening, but alas, I find myself back here. Out of state visiting family this weekend. I was slumbering so peacefully last night. Usually I'll sleep all the way through the night, wake up at like 8:30, right? Something jolted me from my sleep at the ripe hour of 6 a.m. Call it intuition. I felt a disturbance in the force. I check my phone and I have a plethora of notifications like, Queen, wake up, he posted about you. Hey, that's amazing. buddy, Shane. Can I call you Shane? I feel like we know each other so well now. You need a new PR team like yesterday. I don't even know if you have a PR team, but if you do, fire them. And if you don't, hire one. Because what a dumb play. This guy made a response video, essentially calling me geriatric for being 25 and addressing none of the points I actually said in my video. I just know your team was scraping the bottom of the barrel to find something to come at me for. And we landed on body shaming. Is the body shaming in the room with us? You would have thought by watching that I put out a 10-minute diss about how he looks. Like, holy victim. My 9-minute long video, 9 minutes, only once do I even allude to anything about his looks, and I say he looks like Slender Man and Napoleon Dynamite when he's dancing. Sorry! Dare I say he tried to out-woke me? I don't know. I posted a video saying he's weird in front of kids and he shouldn't act like that in front of his tween audience, and he posted a video saying, I have a tween audience, and also you body shamed me. Why are you trying to get me canceled? He even said something, and you can tell it was an afterthought because his phone was like propped up at a different angle, so he thought about it after he filmed it, but he was like, any age, sexuality, gender, or race is welcome at my show. Okay. Who on earth was talking about that? What? Anything to avoid being a creep, huh? Starts out the video going, I thought it was chronically online, but apparently there's this drama. Immediately I knew it was gonna be some bullshit, because why are we acting like your management hasn't been deleting comments all week? And I was openly beefing with your opener all week, but you're just finding out about it now, right? He then proceeds to call me essentially geriatric at the age of 25, but then also says he's essentially just a little teenage boy because he's fleshly 20. He turned 24 months ago. Bro's acting like his birthday was last week. So, is your management 20? Are they 20? Why are they letting me talk like this? Then proceeds to say my main complaint is that there were tweens in the audience and that I should have expected younger crowds because that's his crowd. Ooh, let's pause. You know your crowd is young teens. You admit that? Why are we talking about getting our dicks up? We'll circle back to that one. Continues on to say I need to touch grass, and then touches astroturf, plastic grass. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't from nature. Definitely didn't address the death threats I got, and I would argue amplified it. Noted that. And at the end, kind of alludes to the fact that he had a bad performance because he's like, I had fever and bronchitis at that show she was at. Babe, I know. Maybe that's part of why it sucked. I don't know. Posting a response video and not responding to anything that was addressed may be a skill. I don't know. It's like a little impressive, but it's also backfired and your fan base is more mad at you now. Not even from my doing. This is all you can. I want to know, like personally, I'm curious. What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Why did your team feel like you had to put out a video? Were ticket sales declining? Were people selling their tickets? Was everyone online calling you a creep and a weirdo? Was it all the above? Ding, 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 ding. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't body shaming. Only place in the whole World Wide Web that thinks the issue is body shaming is his comment section. And that's because his management team has made that abundantly clear. I'll humor you for a sec. If the main issue here is body shaming, then why anytime someone comments about you talking to minors the way you do in your comment section doesn't get immediately deleted? Management's on top of that one, huh? Humor me one more. If you know your audience is young teens, you admit that, and you say, I need to expect that when I go to a concert. Why are we grabbing our dick on stage? Why are we thrusting? Hard for me, yeah, I'm daddy, good girl. Oh, to children! In theory, sending your 4 million followers to my page under the assumption that I'm bullying you would work if they couldn't watch my video. The amount of comments I've gotten that are like, came here from his video, was expecting to see a hateful video, but I agree with you actually, and I don't like him anymore. You did that to yourself. You shot yourself in the foot. You don't gotta answer me, okay? I'm clearly not a fan anymore. That ship has sailed, but you do have a large audience right now that's wondering why you won't address the elephant in the room. And I think putting out a video, this is where the PR team being whack comes in, putting out a video that addresses everything but what people are upset about only makes you look guilty. I mean, you could have just ignored it and people would have written me off as an old hag that had a bad time at a concert and it would have been good. You took the time, you propped up your phone, you put out a video, and you didn't even address what people are upset about? I say his video proved my point too. All I said was you should expect young crowds and brain rot humor, and his video was like, I have young fans and I'm 20, so I have brain rot humor. Yeah, we're agreeing. Where I lose you is when you talk about getting your dick sucked. Anywho, if you want me to send your team a note sheet about what your response should have looked like, I'll gladly do that. I think you really need the help. If you want to talk about a skill issue, that's a big one. We need to fix it soon. Work on your ego. You know, it doesn't give edgy vibes. It gives like insecure and entitled. It's not cute. It's not a good look. And the fake fan videos from your management company, lose those. Get rid of those. Those are knocking you down bad. Answer to your fans and be authentic, because that last one wasn't it. Okay, bye guys, have a good night.
We've heard enough of the Sombr concert drama. We love hearing from others on this channel, so let's hear what others have to say about the controversy.
Sombr should have never posted a response to that girl's video. His response was terrible. He should have just said, if he had to respond, right, if it was bothering him that bad, which it clearly was, he should have just said, stop body shaming me, stop sending that girl death threats. My concerts are open for everyone. Everyone is welcome, but I understand everyone may not like my concerts. That's simple. Right? He could have left it right then and there, because for him to get on the internet and tell her she needs to touch grass, that she's too old for his shows, that this is a skills issue because she should have known his audience. Huh? I'm sorry. I feel like stan culture has kind of infected everyone's brains. Just because you see an artist live doesn't mean you know everything about that artist. Sometimes seeing an artist live when you're spending your own money is as simple as the ticket was affordable, I like a few of their songs, and I haven't done anything fun in 3 months. Sometimes it's that simple. Sometimes it really is that simple. You don't have to know everything about the artist. You don't have to know what their fans are called, who their fan base is. You don't need to know all that information to see them live, right? And also for him to address that, but completely gloss over the fact that she said a lot of his jokes were inappropriate to be saying to minors. Okay, yeah, I don't know why he would put that on the internet.
Music is subjective and you are allowed to think that an artist sucked. So everyone is freaking out because apparently Sombr is doing things on stage that are extremely inappropriate for him to be doing in front of an audience that are primarily underage girls. Just search up Sombr barking video and you'll see what I mean. But have we considered that that is exactly what his fans want? He is their Justin Bieber. He is their One Direction. And they have this parasocial relationship with him and genuinely think that they're friends or that they have some kind of chance with him. They are in love with him, just like you were in love with One Direction, okay? And so him doing these things on stage is directly appealing to them. It keeps them engaged throughout the show and then inevitably makes them leave more of a ride or die fan. Does this appeal to the audiences that are not underage? Probably not, but I think the actual issue is just parasocial relationships. Also, breaking news, music is subjective and you are allowed to think that an artist or a set sucked. It does not matter if they are an opener, it does not matter if it is their first time playing in front of this size of crowd, you are literally entitled to your own opinion. And if you are a fan of an artist that another person thinks sucked, well guess what? You are in luck because that means you're gonna have a better chance at getting tickets to their next show. Artists have to be open to constructive criticism because that's literally how they get better. And honestly, bad press is still good press because I had no idea who this opener was before all of this drama, and now I've actually listened to her songs on Spotify. I don't know, let me know what you think because this is a really weird situation.
And I just want to say that I'm on that girl's side, and I was from the jump. But now that I saw his response, yeah, girl, you did your big one. I'm gonna give you your thanks because I love that he addressed everything about your video, but didn't acknowledge the fact that he was freshly 20 and telling his tween audience to bark for him. You got it, girl. You got it. You ate his ass up.
I think everyone's smoking crack and posting about this Sombr situation because why am I seeing fully grown adults, like 25 to 30-year-old adults, piling on a 20-year-old kid because he responded to a viral hate video about his first tour? It wasn't even a review that he was responding to. She was basically doing hateration. She was not saying anything constructive. She literally, the thesis of her long, meandering, boring video was, he sucks, don't waste your time going to his tour, sell your tickets. That's not a critique. That's literally just a hit job. And look, you guys know that I live for a cunty review. I give them all the time. I live for a well-executed, mean-spirited piece of criticism that has some substance or some merit to it. But this really wasn't that. It was just mean. And Sombr has every right to respond. The landscape of how artists should interact with their fan bases and with the public at large has completely changed. Look at Chappell Roan. The media training thing is long gone. He is a TikTok artist. You all discovered him on TikTok. So why are you acting surprised that he's using that same medium to clap back in? This is the water that he swims in. And if you don't address viral hate trains, they will continue and continue until you eventually do. So I think that actually addressing it now and kind of trying to nip it in the bud, although inelegantly expressed, was the smart thing to do. But anyway, I minded my business about this because let's be real, Sombr's for the children, and that's the point. So I watched this 25-year-old video about 20-year-old Sombr, and the contradictions that she's making, even in the first minute alone, are crazy. She's shocked that the crowd is full of teenagers, and then she's shocked that her ID is getting inspected even though she saw teenagers all around her. She's appalled that these teens are crying and screaming and jumping up and down and being on their phones. Like, yeah, they're tweens and teenagers. That's what they do. She's describing completely normal fan behavior, things that I did when I was a teenager at a concert that I'm sure she did too, like it's behavior from a horror movie. They were sobbing, they were shrieking, they were barking, right? Because they love him. That's the entire point of the exercise. You're not exposing something that people don't already know here. You're really outing yourself as someone who doesn't understand the environment you willingly entered. She really is bearing the lead the whole entire video because the crowd was having the time of their lives by her own description. She is the one that is standing still, sneering and making fun of people for enjoying themselves and making fun of the artist for making those people happy. Everyone there got exactly what they came for because they are the target demographic. Newsflash, she's not. I knew this about Sombr from the 10 seconds that I've seen of him on TikTok. I'm 28 and I could tell immediately this content, this music, this art is not for me. That's for the 16-year-olds. It's really not hard to clock. Did the 6-7 jokes not give you a little clue that perhaps this wasn't for you? She complains about that too, by the way, as if that isn't the number one thing he's been going viral for. The part that really pissed me off about this critique though was this fake woke angle, the moral panic about him being inappropriate with teens. She's implying that he's doing something wrong by behaving like a heartthrob, which is what he is to these girls. She suggests that this is some sort of dangerous environment for them, but then also in the same breath says that she saw a dad there with his 14 girls who is sanctioning this behavior because it's normal. What are you talking about, girl? This is literally the correct setting for teen girls to express their hormonal crush energy. It's a pop concert. Nothing's gonna happen to them. It's safe. It's supervised. It's cathartic. The parents are there. Teen girls screaming and flirting with the fantasy of a boy on stage is the entire point. One Direction, the Beatles, Justin Bieber. There's decades of research on this phenomenon. Every single generation without fail manages to moralize young female fandom and make it seem like it's wrong, which is what I think this girl is unintentionally doing. They said Beatlemania was hysterical. They said the believers were brainwashed and brain dead. But this is just young girls growing up and having a safe collective place to experience emotion and desire. And I think that it's actually very conservative, strangely, to suggest that there's something wrong with that. I also really hate the implication that he is deliberately being creepy or exploitative because the girls were responding and they were exciting. All of what he does on stage is in the music and the music videos. You are just projecting your discomfort with youth culture and the fact that you're no longer at the center of it very clearly. And honestly, I think this review, what she's really mad about is that she's aging. I really do, and I understand and empathize with her. She's realizing that she's not the main character in youth culture anymore. It is hitting her like a truck. She's also aghast that these kids are calling Sombr their generation's David Bowie. Yes, babe, that's what happens. The cultural churn, the cycle moves on. on. Everybody got all up in arms when people said that Olivia Rodrigo was this generation's Taylor Swift. People got all up in arms when they said that Harry Styles was his generation's David Bowie. Everybody got all up in arms when people said that Gaga was this generation's Madonna. This is the circle of life. You just got old enough to experience it for the first time. She's acting like the Sombr concert is some sort of like moral collapse in society, but this is literally just the passage of time. You're not supposed to relate to every new pop phenomenon. They're unique and specific to the generations that encourage it. Sometimes you're just too old for it, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that the thing is bad. It just means that it's not for you. So should Sombr have responded? Probably not, because it has definitely Streisand affected this and made it a much bigger thing. But I kind of respect the move, because was he wrong? No, I think he was completely right. He basically said, you're 25, I'm 20. My shows aren't made for you. They're made for like people my age and younger than me. And he's correct. That's the demographic that he's targeting. I don't understand why there are a bunch of adults on this app trying to argue with the artist demographic when he has said it very clearly himself. This is literally just a boundary setting, and he's clarifying what his art is, who it's for, and how people should engage with it. If you don't like that, don't engage. I think it's kind of smart. Again, all these adults complaining about him not being PR trained. I don't think any of you know what PR training is. The function of it is not to ignore every single thing that comes your way. This is also not a politician. This is a kid on his first tour who's getting dogpiled on by adults on TikTok. So yeah, maybe he shouldn't have replied and blown it out of proportion, but let's be honest. She started it. She is old enough to know that when you make a video and it goes viral being very strongly worded about someone, I've learned this lesson many times, they might see it. They might respond. She made a viral video really trying to humiliate him, and he said, you know what? You're not my audience. It's not for you. And I think that that actually is a fair interaction. If you are a grown adult at a show full of teenagers and you're horrified that they're behaving like teenagers, maybe the problem isn't the concert. Maybe the problem is that you can't accept that you've aged out of being the center of that experience. And that's okay. You can still love music without needing to own every space that it lives in. I don't know any Sombr songs. I don't know anything about him, but Viva Sombr. Let him rock.
TATI'S creators, I really enjoyed their perspectives, but now it's time for my perspective. It's time for Mind Over Media. Welcome to Mind Over Media. My mind over the media is where I get to offer you guys my perspectives on the controversy. As always, no hate is intended. These are just my perspectives. So she claims to have good intentions by just saying like, oh, I want to warn other people about this concert and tell them like what it's like in case people are expecting something different and then don't want to go, etc. She wants people to get her money's worth, etc. And if this was the intention, that's good. However, it's kind of missed because of how deep she cut into him in the concert. If this was really about warning others and trying to spread awareness that this may not be the concert for them, it may not be what people expect, that's one thing. Instead, she phrased it as though he was just completely overall terrible performer. Like, that's just how it was phrased. Now, Sombr. First thing I have to say is, where is the PR team? Okay, these artists these days, wow, like social media is great, but it can also really just be your downfall if you don't have a PR team. He should have honestly never responded to that video. Do you think that Beyonce responds to every person who has a problem with their concert? No, because she's Beyonce. Sabrina Carpenter, she responded to the album cover controversy. Should she? With that response she gave us, that we need to go outside more, she probably shouldn't have responded, right? So Sombr is a rising star. He's actively rising. He's always on music, but he is just now kind of really getting into the media. This is not the time beyond social media saying whatever you want, okay? No. This is a time for a PR team, okay? Because the first year of you being a artist, a pop star, whatever it is, that's when you have to be on your game, okay? This is when we're learning the most about you. And right now, we know you as getting extremely defensive over someone having criticism over your concert. His response is very arrogant and defensive. Lastly, for the suggestive jokes and having a younger audience, kids these days are exposed to so many different things that we weren't exposed to when we were younger. But in the age of internet and parents not parenting that well, no offense to you guys who actually parent well, but there's parents who aren't parenting well. Kid content and adult content, the lines are blurred now when it shouldn't be. Think of Euphoria. That is literally one of the most watched teen shows in America. There's nothing kid-friendly about Euphoria, but only teens watch Euphoria, right? But we're gonna say this for Sombr and not for other individuals like Sabrina Carpenter. The difference is that there's a big mix that kids and adults collectively 50-50 both listen to Sabrina Carpenter. Majority kids were at Sombr's concert. But still, it is parents' jobs to figure out what their kid is listening to. If Sombr is not promoting his concerts and himself as kid-friendly, family-friendly, then you can't really get on him for not censoring himself, because at the end of the day, he never said that his music was only for adults. Sabrina Carpenter isn't marketing herself as kid-friendly, okay? She never has, and I don't think she ever will at this point, right? Because that would be crazy. But we've heard enough from me. It's time to hear from you guys. Do you guys think that the creator who made the TikTok did it in good faith? Was she really trying to warn others about this concert, or was she had the intention to bring Sombr down? Should artists be responsible who show up at their concerts? And do you guys think that people are overreacting, or should Sombr be definitely held accountable for his behavior? Comment down below, let me know what you guys think, and yeah, okay, love you. Bye. Mwah.